Long before Warner Brothers pioneered the $300 million superhero tax shelter, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes,
I'll fuck anything that moves,
were hiding money from the government in the form of Jay and Silent Bob's Super Groovy cartoon movie, which could be charitably described as a piece of shit. This is probably the worst movie I've ever seen, and when I say probably, it's not a question of if I've seen a worse film. It's a question of whether its runtime qualifies it as a movie, with the credits rolling at just 58 minutes. It follows Jay and Silent Bob as they become the superheroes Blunt Man and Chronic. The first act teases various origin stories we're all familiar with. They almost get bit by a radioactive spider. They almost get injected with Captain America serum by John Lovitz.
If you'll just lie down on the table, we can proceed with the injection of the Super Soldier Serum.
And then they win the lottery and build a bat cave. Or I guess Bob builds it while Jay looks at rectal prolapse porn. You know, I never thought I'd say this, but John Lovitz deserves better.
A sad comment on my life.
In fact, all the voice cameos are kind of depressing.
I am not even supposed to be here today.
The movie spends most of its screen time with Jay and Silent Bob, and Silent Bob is silent. So this isn't so much a movie as it is a monologue. It's pretty much nothing but Jason Mewes riffing for about an hour straight, and the occasional line from Kevin Conroy or Stan Lee.
What kind of comic book movie could this be without a quick cameo from Stan the Man?
It's just a reminder of how lonesome that recording booth must have been. I don't even like Jason Mewes all that much. He's got to be my least favorite member of the original Jackass crew. If there's one thing you can say in this movie's defense, it maintains a pretty quick pace. It's a ceaseless stream of unfunny jokes that nobody could possibly laugh at, but it doesn't really drag anything out. Until the middle part, where we spend what feels like forever listening to all these supervillains explain their origin stories. And it turns out it was all Blunt Man and Chronic's fault.
they showed up.
No! Their arrival was that most sour of emoticons.
Which is almost a good joke, but I don't think the movie intended it as one. You know what's definitely intended as a joke, though, is all these homophobic gags they were making in 2013. I'm not saying Kevin Smith should be canceled for this, but that's only because I already think he should be canceled for being an unfunny hack.
Plug it up, lipstick lesbian. We're putting prison panties on your pussy party.
A lot of jokes in this movie don't make any sense. They're pissing on their own toilet paper? Who is that pranking? And why did they shove a bicycle up their dead butler's ass?
That's fucking funny, sir.
There aren't even that many weed jokes in this movie. They get trapped in a giant bong near the end, but why would non-pot themed villains even do that? Blunt Man and Chronic are the weed ones. The bad guys are all penis themed.
I'm Cockknocker.
Like this guy, the chronic masturbator voiced by Quentin Tarantino being interviewed on 106 in Park.
Man, I can't even believe this shit right now. I'm a straight up too legit to quit costume supervillain. But oh shit.
So if he had sent me something that I plug into my computer, I don't know if I would have ever heard it. All right.
The only people who could possibly tolerate this movie are potheads with nothing going on, and they couldn't even throw them a bone? I guess internet critics could tolerate the movie too, but the end credits rap makes it clear that we can go fuck ourselves.
Oh yeah, what was your cartoon movie, bitch? Oh, what was that? You don't have a cartoon movie?
I did make my own cartoon movie. It was pretentious and unfunny, but it was better than this. So I get to say whatever I want. And my cartoon movie actually crossed the 1 hour mark, making it officially feature length. So you're the one that shouldn't be criticizing me. Anyway, the plot is pretty thin and barely worth going over. It ends with the bad guys causing miscellaneous chaos around the city, and then Jay and Bob hop out and these newspapers wrap around their faces and make them look like Klansmen. And it's in front of all these black people. And if that wasn't bad enough, it's during a Martin Luther King Jr. Day march. The movie didn't stretch to make that joke so much as it just put it there. Eventually they're cornered and Blunt Chick comes to the rescue. She's kind of the nostalgia chick to Bob's nostalgia critic, I guess. She saves them and then rapes Jay, and there's this post-credits scene that goes on forever. There's also this scene of Jay heartlessly murdering one of the bad guys in his sleep. It's so tonally out of place that it's almost funny, but it's in Jay and Silent Bob's Super Groovy cartoon movie, so it's not. I don't want to dwell on the ugly visuals too much. You've got eyeballs. I can't tell you anything you're not seeing. But I'll point out and make fun of this attempt at a SpongeBob or Ren and Stimpy style hyper-detailed close-up. It doesn't land because they don't know how to draw. This is one of the ugliest cartoons I've ever seen, They don't know how to do a proper walk cycle, and it just isn't any fun to look at. People have said they should have gone with the look of the Clerks cartoon show from back in the day, but that show was charming, and I don't want that to have anything to do with this. I've always felt that Kevin Smith's mediocrity is his appeal. We all have a lazy stoner friend who sits around telling us about the awesome movies or video games or animated shows he wants to make someday, and these guys never get off their asses and do it. Kevin Smith got off his ass and did it, and it's comforting seeing a regular schlub getting to live the dream. That goodwill has carried him a long way. And after seeing this, I wish it hadn't. Bet you can't hit the subscribe button before this video ends.